It's Monday. These things are dry. I took the extra resin and I poured them into wherever those are. Those things, my elbow pad pieces. A little over pour, a little upset, but I'm not going to fix it. I'm just going to leave it. It's not, I think I can like just pass it off like it didn't happen. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, the excess. So I poured it into these little gaps inside the circle, and it just, like, I thought I had it sealed enough around, and I didn't. And it pooled just a little bit on the sides. Like, literally, it's tucked right up in there. And it blocks the texture more so. But it's nothing that I'm like, oh, it's ruined. No, it's not. It's just, it happened. I am working on my build book, and gradually I have been doing these pages by myself during like my lunch hour, so these have been really easy for me to do. But I just now added in these that you see with the mannequins. So each one, I've only done one so far. I am going to lower the opacity of the mannequins to make them a little bit more faint. I just don't want them like super obvious. But I'm going to title each one off. Like, obviously this one's for the bodice. This is the goal of the bodice, was to mimic his skin. So I'm listing off just general things that like, these are the highlights of what made the bodice. This is the pattern I used. Any challenges, which for this one was altering the chest shape, assembling the layers together, and attaching the piping. All three of those were very challenging. I'm not ashamed to go, I struggled a lot with all three of these, but I worked through it to get something. I put layers because technically there are 3 layers that make up this bodice that I love talking about this factor. This really shows that I know how to make a corset. And then my materials listed, very generic, very basic. But this is to mimic these little eye-catching cards from the anime. So the little arrows, the bold. I was just trying to get that vibe, which I kind of have going on. Now this is not as colorful though, and it's because, referring back to this, once these are printed, I'm going to physically draw over these. So this will eventually have the bodice drawn onto it. Just, I want to incorporate some of my reference drawings, so I want to mimic those onto these. And it's going to show on each one of these. So very exciting, a lot of work. I don't think it's going to take me long. Like, this here was the longest thing for me to do. And it's because I had to come in and typeset all of this and figure out all the typography. So now I can just kind of copy and paste onto the next page, change out my words, and keep repeating it and repeating it. Okay, and I am super tired. I think I want to call it quits for the night. I might do one more page. I don't know. I don't know how I feel yet. But my goal is to make this feel like a comic book. So I'm going to print it out, fold it, and staple it in the middle. So the other reason why I want to do that is because this is not with all competitions. But they said this in the email, and that made me go, oh, I know how to make sure people see all my work, is by putting it all in the build book. But I think they call it like a throwaway build book, meaning like you should bring a build book that you are willing to not get back. Which I hate that. I like getting my build books back, but initially that means the judges are going to keep the build book the whole day. they are going to refer back to that build book when they go to make their final decisions. So I'm putting extra detail into my build book so they can see and know more about my costume. If I were not to talk about the 3 layers that made up the corset, they will see that in the build book. And just as a graphic designer, having a build book that you think is going to be fun to look through, like if I hand you something and it's bright and colorful, it looks like a comic book, you're going to flip through it. If I hand you a blank white binder, you might open it. So I'm trying to make something that's super enticing to keep you flipping, to keep you looking. So I'm trying to create a narrative with pictures. I'm trying to make something fun that makes you want to keep looking at it. Initially, by the end of it, by the end of Saturday night, I want those judges to go, I know how she made this whole costume, and I only talked to her for 5 minutes, which a lot of competitive cosplayers out there will know that's impossible to do. So this extra bonus of knowing they're keeping my build book, I am very happy with. So I'm putting more detail than I wanted to into this book. Yeah, you guys will see it because I am determined to get it done tomorrow and get it printed off tomorrow night or Wednesday afternoon. Either way, it's getting done before Thursday. I'm determined. You will see it at the end of this video. Oh my god. Okay, so I have to focus. F is a little hard. The glue is making me salivate a lot. I don't know if I will use the 2 front teeth. The 3 I'm not bothering with at all. The 2 front ones are what's making it hard to talk. I might just do the 3 for prejudging and pop the 2 in before I go on stage. Because talking is more important than the full mouth of teeth. Okay, I took the 2 out. They look the most realistic. I have like a lot of glue right here, so my top lip is getting snagged right now. But I might go into prejudging like this and go most of the day like this, and then pop those front 2 in for the stage. This glue tastes awful. I just cleaned up the mess, and after a lot of planning, it's so challenging to print this out on your own, but I did it. I kind of improvised with the stapler because it's not perfectly centered. I only did top and bottom because I have a standard stapler. I cannot reach it all the way in, but my goodness, I'm so proud of myself. I still need to come in and sketch on these, but it's there. The only thing that really bothers me that I could have probably tried to fix, when it's all pressed together, the back is just like a 1/4 of an inch shy. Like, it's literally just missing a little sliver. That could have been from me cutting it, which it is what it is. It's a paper. It's paper. It looks like a comic. It is almost the size of the manga. And just a moment for the back. And Riot's almost fully packed, and week 15 is done. I'm traveling today, Thursday. Yeah, it's now Thursday, it's 12:30. Yeah, super excited. So if you're going to PopCon, please catch me, either as Yoshi or Riot.